Jacob Falco with the ball. He's been in a little bit of a funk lately, according to Sanders. Hoping this game can get him out of it.
Binghamton was up 16 at Columbia earlier this week. Didn't score in the final 6 minutes of regulation and falling. Lavelle Sanders saying a learning moment for his Bearcats team.
Yeah, they beat Sacred Heart, lost their opener to Cornell.
And a giveaway by UConn. This is something that Dan Hurley said to his team yesterday in shoot-around. He said, look, I know this is the 4th straight, quote, tune-up game, but you can't think that way. We need a resounding performance this afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Tweak things that you need to make sure that you're sharp before you head down to the Bahamas.
Here's Cole. Off to Sanogo, and Adama Sanogo gets the Huskies started.
Great penetration by R.J. Cole. Fans will sit down. It's a tradition, whether it's in the XL Center here in Hartford or at Gamble in stores. They stand until that first bucket by the Huskies.
This is John McGriff, the St. John's transfer.
The transfer portal has affected all levels of Division I, some going down, some going up, some staying sort of peer-to-peer.
Tinsley gets his own miss and puts it back for the Bearcats.
Watch Tinsley throughout the course of this afternoon. He's going to be everywhere, a hard worker. He'll have some floor burns by the end of this afternoon.
Lavelle Sanders telling us before this one, you have to match the level that UConn competes at.
Now going to a zone from Binghamton.
2-3 look here with 9 on the shot clock. Here's Sanogo. Back out to Whaley. Martin with the offensive board. UConn was top 5 in the country a year ago in offensive rebounding. Martin, another offensive rebound, and he earns 2 free throws.
What you're seeing so far from Binghamton is the activity. A lot of hands, a lot of movement. They're making things more difficult for UConn. Even though UConn is getting these offensive rebounds, they're having to really work for it. I mean, you can see 2 Binghamton Bearcats right there. Yes, a foul, but at the same time, they're being very aggressive as the foul was called on number 21. I'm going to go for you first.
Ogoneolu Akuwovu.
Akuwovu. I wanted to learn from you in pronunciations.
Tyrese Martin at the line. Senior from Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Remember, Tyrese was recruited by Dan Hurley to URI, played for David Cox, and then transferred here. So Hurley has known him for quite some time, but he didn't play for him until he got to UConn.
McGriff denied by Martin. And it will go back to the Huskies.
Once again, an aggressive play by Tyrese Martin. What the Huskies want from him, according to Dan Hurley, is an all-conference type player. But that's at both sides of the court. And you're seeing that defensively right now from Tyrese Martin.
Martin said that what he loves about this year's team is he's reminded of when Dan Hurley was recruiting him with the style that this UConn team wants to play with. Aggressive, more pace this season. So it's almost like I refound the love that I initially got with Coach Hurley. Bertram. Jackson blocked him. The Huskies forcing another giveaway. Martin. Off to Cole in the corner. Tyrese Martin couldn't get it to go, and another offensive rebound. McGriff comes down with it after 3 looks by the Huskies.
That's okay. Aggressive offensive rebound. Those looks will fall.
McGriff swishes it home.
Well, you charted McGriff when he was playing for St. John's. He's going to push the tempo for Binghamton. They're going to penetrate with him.
Nogo can't hit. Huskies a little bit cold here to start. John McGriff, former 3-star recruit out of Bishop McNamara down in Maryland. Lavelle Sanders telling us that he's got a great head on his shoulders. Now it's about setting others up to make plays. To the corner. It's Bertram. And he starts right where he left off after his career high 29 earlier this week.
Well, that's exactly why we highlighted him. You know, he knew it, that we were talking about him, and he buried the three.
And the Huskies give it away. Jackson throwing it away. The Binghamton Bearcats getting off to a strong
teammate as he ever had.
Speaks volumes. Those mid-90s Seton Hall clubs put together some strong years, and that backcourt duo had a lot of fun going up against each other in practice and playing in games. In fact, Lavelle Sanders was supposed to be guarding Allen Iverson in a game in '96 as Sanogo can't hit. Sanders has 2 quick fouls on AI, meaning Dan Hurley has to guard Allen Iverson. AI goes for 40 for Georgetown, and Dan Hurley feels like Lavelle did that on purpose to him.
Yeah, they both said they didn't play much defense against those elite guards back then.
Gaffney rejected by a pair of Bearcats. UConn 0 for their last 8.
Game was at noon, not 8 a.m., but they haven't really woken up yet. Now Binghamton back in man. I would suspect UConn will mostly see man down in the Bahamas. But still good to work against the zone because it'll happen.
Just 1 for their first 11. And this is a UConn team that offense has come easy for them. They have scored 281 points through the first 3 games of the year. That's the most for the Huskies since the 1995-96 year. That year ended up with a Big East title and a second weekend NCAA tournament trip. Back to Ray Allen. A turnover now by the Huskies. It goes back to UConn. Halmerson lost it. Cole creating the turnover. Griff back in. And that's been the strength, Andy, for UConn. 110 points off 78 turnovers. That's second best in college basketball thus far.
So Sanders is clearly mixing up his defense, going back to the zone, trying to really fluster UConn, and so far it's worked here in the first half.
Huskies now 1 for 12. It's into Sanogo, who has the lone field goal. Jackson whams it down! That'll wake him up.
Dan Hurley told me that Andre Jackson is the kind of player that can take them to another level. The way he flies around, just what we saw on that putback.
Andre Jackson, the sophomore standout, coming off the best game of his career for the Huskies earlier this week, and the jump ball will stay with the Bearcats.
This is the kind of high flyer that UConn's had at times in the past, but woo, look at that flush. Following the shot, knows that there's potential for contact, doesn't matter. Uses his body. Well, by the way, Binghamton wasn't going to give him any contact. They let him go in. No one wants to be a poster.
Well, Dan Hurley said there's practice footage of Andre Jackson slams, but they don't want to issue them out publicly because the kid getting slammed on would be taking a lot of social media to him. Hurley said he wouldn't live. Bertram lays it off. Another denial, this time by Whaley. And the Bearcats will keep it with 6 on the shot clock.
Whaley has been a great teammate for UConn. He's been the kind of player that has elevated this Hurley program. Since he started playing well, that's why UConn has elevated in the last 2 seasons. And here he is. Well, that was Martin. This is all their defense, really deflecting and staying with the plays consistently.
Bertram with 1 on the shot clock, couldn't get the teardrop to fall. There's Jalen Gaffney, backup point guard. Starting the season strong from beyond the arc at nearly 60%. A Cook from the corner.
Remember, a Cook still coming off that Achilles injury, was out about 20 months since then. And it just takes a while, and he's clearly getting his legs back. Certainly his three-point shooting.
Here's Kellen Amos, a sophomore, and he throws it away. Another turnover as the Huskies duo of Jackson and a Cook gets and makes. UConn's defense gets going.
A Cook in the corner. It's going to be very hard for teams to defend when think about when he is elevating at the top of that shot, just how high it is if you're going to try to contest that.
He just plays with so much passion. That's what Huskies assistant coach Kamani Young says. And the battle back from that Achilles injury, it's been a long one. There was a mental break that a Cook had to take because he was just battling, trying to play as hard, knowing that he had suffered that injury. Catch and shoot for Hawkins. And Whaley's over the back.
So Hawkins now into the game. Did not play the first couple of games. He was hurt, played the last game against LIU. The feeling here in this program is he is an early entry player. He will not play 4 years here at UConn. He is that good potentially. They just got to continue to get him in the mix, but he can give them that extra firepower off the bench. So keep an eye on number 24, Andre Hawkins. And here he is, coming right at you.
Jordan Hawkins out of DeMatha Catholic.
I'm sorry, I meant Jordan Hawkins. I was looking at Andre Jackson there. Jordan Hawkins.
Thinking the Huskies over Louisville, Maryland, Marquette, and others. Now a turnover up ahead to Hawkins. And nice job by Binghamton getting back in transition as program to the level that it was at.
Well, it was in conjunction with the Big East, essentially. The television helped tremendously when they got their contract and in the Big East, and then recruiting all over the country. I mean, there aren't elite players in the state of Connecticut.
Polly off the dribble, knocks it down.
And style of play certainly helped. I mean, the amount of NBA alums that have come through this program, it's with some of the best in the country.
44 NBA draft picks in this program's history, as that one just is off the rim for White. There's Gaffney. Polly coming off a 17-point performance earlier this week against LIU. Now with 10 on the timer, here's the four-star prospect Hawkins, looking the part.
I mean, that is exactly what they want and think they can get from Jordan Hawkins. A little step back, drills it. He's going to get better and better. We're going to see more of him next week in the Bahamas.
Single biggest question for UConn heading into this year, how do you replace the major contributions that James Bouknight had as that goes for Tavion White?
Well, the ball stuck a little with Bouknight. It's not going to stick this season. And by the way, they had to play without Bouknight for quite some time last season when he had that elbow injury. And credit, though, to Bouknight for coming back from that. A lot of players would have said, I'm just going to stop, work, get healthy, and work for the NBA draft. 7
games last year that Bouknight was held out. And in a COVID-19 season, that felt a lot
held
longer.
Held out, he had surgery. I mean, that's significant. Came back from surgery.
In the midst of that, some COVID pauses in that wacky ride in which the Huskies did get to the NCAA tournament first time in 5 years. Nifty move, just couldn't fall for Jacob Falco, and Whaley comes down with it. Gaffney floats, and he'll head to the line for a fair. One on Amos.
The problem for UConn in this game so far, if we had a mic on Dan Hurley, I'm sure he would say it's been their half-court offense for the most part. So the opportunities for UConn to beat Binghamton off the dribble should be plentiful. So there was a case where Gaffney can do it, has the ability, got his defender up, got fouled, and now he's at the free throw line.
These may seem like little details, but Gaffney just 62% from the line on the year. One of the things that Dan Hurley said to his group this week was, you better focus on these, because against Auburn, against potentially Michigan State this week, we need to hit these potentially late in a game against a better opponent.
Wholesale changes for UConn. You're going to see a lot of this probably this afternoon, as long as the game has a little bit of space for UConn. They've got to make sure they fit, basically get their rotations down before they go on the road.
Huskies with their largest advantage of the day halfway through this opening stanza. John McGriff with a spin. McGriff, a little long. Already 9 players have appeared for Connecticut. Depth and experience. Gaffney knocks it down. Jalen Gaffney stays hot from 3. Now 8 for 13 on the season, and Lavelle Sanders calls a timeout. UConn's
starting to feel it. You've seen pull-up shots from Hawkins and Gaffney. You're going to see more.
Watching his son.
But as the winter gets colder, I won't be surprised to see him out in Tempe as well, watching Bobby in Arizona State.
And this week he can be in the Bahamas to see both.
I don't know if he's going, but he certainly can see both sons and both their teams. We can get to that later as a potential matchup could occur. Other side of the bracket.
Bertram can't hit.
Baylor and VCU on that other side as well.
A Cook with his second trifecta.
I mean, think about that. If a Cook is going to be nailing threes as essentially another perimeter shooter, that's going to make it even more difficult to defend UConn, especially to zone UConn.
Early calling a Cook the X factor to the group. In and out. And Binghamton right now having trouble scoring. This is a 16-2 UConn run. Cole is rejected. Good defense that time by Yarden Willis. McGriff to the corner. Beamer off the fake. Lid on the bucket right now for the Bearcats.
This is what UConn wants to do.
Martin to Sanogo. An 18-2 surge.
UConn wants to continue to push it as much as possible. They can outrun Binghamton.
And Hurley calling
now, as UConn will now work on a full court pickup.
The length of this team with 9 players at 6'5" or taller, top 15 in KenPom adjusted defensive efficiency, and Dan Hurley telling us it allows them to play in a variety of ways. Binghamton just 4 for 22 from the field, in great need of a bucket. 7 on the shot clock, and a Cook all over Tinsley. Halmerson with 2. Halmerson breaks up the drought.
A desperation shot, but Halmerson certainly can do it. Pretty good shooter. He'd been out with a groin injury. Important contribution for him for Binghamton.
Breaking up a 5+ minute scoreless stretch for the Bearcats. And will stay with the Huskies with 13 on the timer. For a Cook, Andy entered the day with 3 threes in the entire season, 2 for 2 today.
Yep. They found him open in the corner. Gaffney did. Binghamton leaving him open. That was a mistake. And then the other side.
Both catch and shoot opportunities. That was something Dan Hurley said to his group as Polly catches, shoots, and hits from Jackson.
Polly can play multiple positions for UConn. Hurley wants to see him get going a little bit more offensively. Making a shot like that certainly will help.
Hurley said to his group yesterday, he said, guys, in a game like this one, the way that we get better is if we play unselfishly. We build for one another. Dish inside, and off the fake, foul. Well, Krolovo went up.
At the last time out, they had 4 assists on 8 buckets, so they were doing that. So
that sends Oganeola Akuovu to the line, who
Nice
played
job
for Bob Hurley at St. Anthony's. So Bob Sr. very familiar with him and talked about his work ethic when Akuovu was in high school. And Lavelle Sanders loves Oganeola's energy in practice. He said sometimes teammates are laughing at him because he's so loud and vibrant.
Yeah, he's one of their leaders, versatile. Right now he's in the back line, essentially playing their 5. Good reach as part of this zone.
12 on the shot clock. It's Martin at the top of the key. Cole pulls. Another offensive rebound, and the putback's there for Polly, who then lets out a yell. He's got 7.
You know, bringing this back to the Jim Calhoun era, the Huskies were always a very good offensive rebounding team as well as a shot blocking team. And it feels like they're getting back to that. That had been a Husky tradition. I know a lot of great guards have come through here, but the work they did on the boards and shot blocking had really been a tradition here in the 90s and 2000s.
UConn 4th nationally in offensive rebound rate last season. In fact, when Bouknight was hurt, that was their primary form of offense.
Now, I'm not saying that Sanogo is Emeka Okafor, but he is like Okafor. I mean, he has the potential to do that. Not as good a shot blocker, obviously, and he's not going to be the number 2 pick, but he certainly has potential.
5th turnover by the Bearcats.
And by the way, it's not me saying that. The staff has told me that comparison.
Hey, we appreciate Andy Katz's observations too, but the staff, nonetheless, is very high on him as Cole cuts in. That's just off. Rebound by Akuovu. From inside to the big man. Akuovu calls Nigeria home. Almerson to the corner. With 10 on the shot clock, Martin with the steal. Tyrese Martin all the way.
Great body control and strength. That's where Martin has the advantage in a matchup like this.
Give them now 116 points off turnovers on the season. Just 4 games in. Regardless of who they're going up against, they just force giveaways. That doesn't go. Martin comes up with it. Another one-and-done possession. Jackson up ahead to Sanogo. He can't put it in. Bertram with the board. Christian Hinkson. Bertram with the right hand. He has a throwback game.
Definitely old school. Playing on the hard courts probably in a couple years. But listen, John, the speed in which UConn is playing right now, pull-up shots like that, that's exactly what's going to happen against Auburn in the Bahamas. Auburn's going to want to play like this, up and down, pull-up threes. Jabari Smith, he'll be running the floor. Auburn had a tough game last night. Squeaked out one against Sweek. So Morcell, number 1, by far, at Marquette. Number 2, Jack Nungy from Xavier. He had a great game transferring over from Iowa. Xavier knocked out from Ohio State, the Ohio State. And Ryan Nembhard, younger brother of Andrew Nembhard, who plays at Gonzaga, playing for Creighton. So those are my top 3, but by far, Morcell, number 1. He's all Big East right now.
Marquette with wins over Illinois as McGriff drills that from 15 out. Ole Miss and last night West Virginia. 3 power conference victories in 5 days for a team that was picked 9th in the Big East. Shaka Smart providing one of the surprises in the country.
Yeah, they're not finishing 9th. By the way, they're playing the Bonnies tomorrow. St. Bonaventure taking on UConn on December 11th in New Jersey. Bonnies, the favorite in the A-10, a top 25 team. Won the A-10 regular season and conference tournament last year. They got all 5 starters back, led by Kyle Lofton.
Earned the name Oceanee as well. Martin up to 6 points. Now up and under doesn't go for Amos. He gets it back though in the corner and hits it home. Kellen Amos with his first points of the afternoon. And just like that, Binghamton within a dozen here.
He's considered by far, well, not by far, but he's considered by the staff maybe their most talented player. Really can be also an X factor as he continues to develop.
Cook, the X factor for Connecticut, has 8 in this first half.
I mean, think about it. He's not considered their top player. What, their third option right now, you would think? Maybe fourth? And yet, right now, Cook could be easily a number 1.
It's been a long road. You think about that Achilles injury in 2019, and it wasn't just the medical. It was the fact that you come back and you have to go through hurdles. You have to figure out your feel for the game again. As he alters that shot enough for UConn to get it back.
Yeah, I've talked to players over the years that have had that Achilles injury, and you have to test it. You have to feel comfortable going up, jumping, some of the basics as an athlete. And that injury is widely considered one of the hardest to come back from. Not everyone's Kevin Durant, obviously. So, I mean, to come back from an Achilles injury, especially when you are an elite athlete, when you need to be someone who's going to be playing above the rim. So far, he looks pretty good.
Gaffney with the right hand, and he gets fouled by Willis.
Yeah, Hurley told me, look, he has not played up to his potential yet, but we're seeing it this afternoon, the kind of potential that he has. Good shot of Luke Murray and Kamani Young and Tom Moore, the assistants for UConn. Luke Murray, I don't know what happened at Louisville, but he was a good assistant for Chris Mack. So Louisville discards. UConn picks him up. I think it's a great addition. And they add an unbelievable fan, his father. Bill Murray will no longer be wearing Louisville red. He'll be wearing UConn blue.
Bill Murray was previously a Big East fan when Luke was at Xavier with Chris Mack, and he would be found at Madison Square Garden at the Big East tournament. You talk about that UConn staff, what they're doing right now on the recruiting trail, just notching a top 30 commitment last night, class of 2023. It's Stephon Castle who pledged to the Huskies. Kamani Young doing big work on that recruit.
Yeah, 6'6" wing. Allegedly got him ahead of Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia Tech.
The key to the story of securing the commitment, it was Castle, who's, as you said, from Georgia, but his grandmother lives in the New York area. Grandma surprised Stephon on his official visit to Connecticut, made him feel right at home. That foul.
Well, and to that point, John, that's a great example, and this will happen more and more, of UConn being back in the Big East. I mean, when they were in the American, they tried to play as much as they could in the New York area, whether it was the Jimmy V Classic or you name it. Legends, didn't matter. They tried to get into the city because they weren't playing games there and they weren't in the tournament there. Now that they're back in the Big East, obviously Madison Square Garden wasn't the same during the pandemic for the Big East tournament. Just wait this March with fans. The UConn faithful will be there in droves. Can you imagine if we get a UConn going over final in the Big East or a semifinal in the Big East tournament? The place is going to be rocking.
They'll have to go through some tougher competition than what was projected in the preseason to get there.
True, John, but I'm still sticking to these two as the top two. That hasn't changed. Villanova and UConn. There's been some jockeying below.
Sure. Couple of top 10 wins this week. Marquette, Seton Hall. To the corner now. Just over a minute left in this first half, and that one a little long for Amos. Gaffney swirling in the lane, got the friendly bounce. There's that potential that Dan Hurley was telling us about.
Yeah, Gaffney is peaking at the right time before the schedule really increases later this week in the Bahamas. They're going to need Gaffney, whoever they play after Auburn, throughout the course of the season, but certainly next week.
Grip splits through two defenders. To the corner now, 10 on the shot clock. Glovu turns and hits. Shot clock turned off, and UConn Can't hold it here for the final shot.
That's a big difference, Sanogo versus a Cook in the post like that defensively. He wouldn't have been able to probably get Sanogo up like that.
Huskies, nobody in double figures in this first half, but just a balanced offense. 8 seconds left now for Gaffney, who surveys. Gaffney crosses, Gaffney floats, and with 2, it's Jackson, and that'll do it for the first half. UConn up by 50.
Yet again, and yes, look, they're starting in that zone.
From the high elbow to Whaley, the Huskies do. Now here's Cole. Cole from the corner, and Martin puts it back.
Fans will take a seat. They stand until that first bucket.
While many minds around the country today are on college football, everybody in Connecticut is always thinking about college hoops. There's over 9,000 here today. That one goes, tough finish for Falco.
And the women are down in the Bahamas, so there's a women's tournament at the Battle for Atlantis before the men's tournament. So both UConn teams will be down there.
Could get a UConn South Carolina showdown in the women's Battle for Atlantis. That one's picked off by Akuovu.
I'll tell you, what Dawn Staley is doing at South Carolina is absolutely phenomenal. Not just on the court, but she has become an absolute leader, pioneer, helping young coaches, helping young African-American women rise up in the business. She has been a leader in this space, in this sport.
Those are R.J. Cole's
unbelievable coach.
Those are R.J. Cole's first points of the afternoon. UConn back with their largest lead of the day at 17. Binghamton with nobody more than 5 points. Falco already has 1 finish. This time he's off. The rebound for Jackson. He loses it.
Stayed with the play, got the strip from behind.
3-on-1, gives it off. Akuovu!
Well, if Binghamton can chip away, they'll do it defensively like that. And this is what we talked about toward the end of the first half. UConn has to come out, try to win these 4-minute stretches.
Into Sanogo, who answers.
Yeah, the America East is not going to have a player as strong as Sanogo. Plenty of bigs that Sanogo is going to have to match up with later this week in the Bahamas, led by Jabari Smith from Auburn, the outstanding freshman.
Akuovu with a nice dish from McGriff.
How about McGriff with the sort of no-look shuffle pass?
That was the thought when Johnny's St. John's was recruiting McGriff to the Red Storm.
Yeah, McGriff is not going to be intimidated by going against UConn.
We've seen him before. Whaley off. Now Sanogo. Just short, and Whaley again. And that's why Connecticut is top 5 in college basketball.
Modern era, I would go with Kemba. No question, I would go with Kemba. All time, I would probably say the classiest of all, Ray Allen.
Ray Allen has that 3-point record in the NBA, and, well, it's going to be falling soon because Steph Curry is closing in on history, and there's a splash from Bertram. He's got 8.
I mean, look, if Binghamton is going to be in an upper echelon team in the America East, which they hope to be, obviously Stony Brook, Vermont, you saw New Hampshire the other night. There's depth in that league. I mean, Bertram's going to have to make shots like that.
As Martin responds, Tyrese Martin into double figures for the Huskies. McGriff pulls. Rebound by Sanogo. Martin gets fouled by Akuovu in a little collision here after. Everybody okay?
UConn's done a great job of using their body to draw contact to get to the line.
Tyrese Martin at the line. Him and his family. The way that they were impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, his mother lost her job in a local restaurant in the Allentown area during the early months of the pandemic. So what did Tyrese Martin do? When he was in the middle of the transfer process from Rhode Island to UConn, he worked in a warehouse to keep things afloat for his family.
I mean, it's obviously unprecedented, everything that everyone went through.
Now Tyrese, he still gives back to his community as Akuwovu is denied by Sanogo. Bertram, his second three of the half.
All right, so now if Binghamton can get some stops, it's a 14-point lead. Can they get it under 10? That may be the under 12 timeout. Definitely doable.
Martin, that went way off.
When shots like that go down for UConn, it is more than doable.
Bearcats just hanging around. Lavelle Sanders told us, we have to compete. That's what he wanted to see from his group today. They lost a 16-point lead to Columbia.
Yeah, and they're losing in overtime, and they beat Sacred Heart.
Wovu lost the basketball. It will stay with the Bearcats with 9 on the timer. We have...
In all of sports.
Our producer, Dave Katz, has an old Binghamton Whalers sweater. He just let us down by not wearing it today. That doesn't go on the putback, and it's Whaley who comes up with it. And Gaffney fouled on the drive.
By the way, it's a sore subject that the Whalers went to Raleigh, North Carolina and became the Hurricanes. Sore subject around here.
They don't forget about anything around here.
No, well, meanwhile, all the banners are still here.
They are loved. And that's the thing with this area. UConn, it's treated like their professional team.
Yeah, there was that minor flirtation with the Kraft family thinking they were going to build the Patriots' new stadium in Hartford. That didn't happen either. So UConn essentially is the pro team.
So if you're Dan Hurley right now, what would you be thinking?
You're frustrated? Because so far Binghamton has won the first 6 minutes of this second half. I mean, they're shooting almost 56%.
They score 12-11. Bertram and Falco have gotten going. Now with 7 on the shot, clock is thrown away. A turnover by Binghamton. That is only their 7th, though. And UConn's forcing around 26 a game. UConn scoreless last couple minutes. Here's Martin on an island. Tyrese Martin gets it back. And a lid right now for the Huskies, and then Martin committing the foul.
We talked about earlier, John, how great they are on the offensive backboard. But at some point, it's going to catch up to you. I mean, the couple possessions before, it took 4 shots before it dropped. You can only go so far with that to go to that second, third, fourth shot.
Martin with that rebound, though, has a double-double, 9th of his career. Binghamton creeping, hanging around. Gritty effort this afternoon to be within distance, and now from the corner, they're within 11.
The magic number is get it to 10 or less at that under 12. They're pretty close.
Håkon Halmerson, one of just 3 players in college basketball from Iceland. Polly answers, giving UConn their first trifecta of the second half.
Well, that was needed. I mean, Hurley had said his shooting can be critical for us. Obviously, the timing of when he makes shots can be monumental.
Halmerson getting pressured by Gaffney. Halmerson, kick. Back Back out to Falco, who's a little long. And it will stay with the Bearcats with 7 on the shot clock.
There was a sense of urgency here from UConn in this possession. Polley shot ready and delivers.
Tyler Polley actually won a Big East Player of the Week honor last season. Had 2 big road games at Marquette and at Butler, 2 wins. Now 3 on the shot clock and a heave. Just a little short for Falco. Jackson with the board. Sanogo downstairs to Whaley, who was left alone, and he'll head to the line for a pair as Falco commits the foul.
That is the second of 3 possessions. Previous one was Martin, where they just were off. The angle was just off. But at least he'll get to the free throw line.
First time this season that Isaiah Whaley is at the line.
And Whaley and Polley are the 2 holdovers from the Kevin Ollie era. Hurley saying Whaley, when he started to play better in the last year and a half, that's when UConn's fortunes really turned positive.
And that's what led Whaley to becoming the Big East Co-Defensive Player of the Year. Received some major recognition. And his nickname in Connecticut to the fans is the Wrench. They come up with all kinds of different things around this state.
I wasn't sure how to comment. Give me the stare down.
Tough shot, way short for Bertram, but it will stay with the Bearcats. Akuovu with some contact to Cole. 13 on the shot clock, and Binghamton will keep it.
All right, so we're 16 seconds away from that under 12 or the next stoppage of play potentially. They're not going to have a 6-point play, but see if Binghamton can at least keep some momentum going.
Early talking to Clarence Armstrong, Matt Potter and Nathan Hall, the officials, thought there should have been a foul call on Akuovu. Now 6 on the shot clock again, and a launch from deep that's long from Beamer. Here comes Jackson. Into Sanogo. Adama, automatic.
You know, last Saturday when I was here, we saw a lot of Sanogo getting that in the low post. We'll see if we see a little bit more of that here in the latter stages of the second half. Establish Sanogo a little bit more.
He's got 8. Now to Bertram off the dribble. Bertram has the shot going. He's up to 13.
Really confident player.
What's funny is he had struggled so much as
that's an intentional.
Is an intentional foul, and now some extracurriculars. Akuovu with a blatant intentional, and now John McGriff getting into it with UConn players. Now Akuovu is heading back over to Sanogo, and a bit of an ugly scene here in Hartford as Akuovu gives the crowd the shush. Pouring down a booze here at XL.
Well, there was the intentional foul. Let's take a look here. Akuovu has the intentional foul on Gaffney that could, Jackson, that could have.
It is a flagrant one, and that sends Jackson to the line for 2.
And I think it's good that Sanders has Akuovu on the bench now.
2 points today for Jackson after his career best 14 on Wednesday against LIU. Dealt with the wrist injury for much of last season, and there is Akuovu on the bench.
He was firing up the crowd. Now you got Bertram at the line. By the way, they don't lose a lot with Yarden Willis now in for Akuovu. I mean, Sanders thinks he's really could be their starting 5 and is pretty aggressive. Sanogo staying on the floor, and Bertram hits both.
4 for 4 are the Bearcats on the day from the line, and so after that, after we trade the free throws, Binghamton has the basketball, and Dan Hurley is still deep in discussion. And the fans are making the officials aware of what they think, as they normally will in Connecticut especially.
And reminding everyone that these two head coaches are very good friends, former Seton Hall teammates.
Now a tie-up that will stay with the Bearcats.
Big Seton Hall presence in this building with the person to my left.
Plenty of Pirates everywhere. I thought that there was a great story. Lavelle Sanders, I asked him, I said, so was Dan Hurley always like this? Watch out here. Mr. Jackson says happy Saturday.
An exclamation from Jackson after getting pulled down by Akuovu.
The lead at 18, the largest it's been all day for the Huskies. Falco with the right hand, can't finish. Jackson with the defense. And here comes UConn again.
Well, if Akuovu was trying to fire at Binghamton, he did the opposite. He's got the Huskies riled up.
And a foul on the floor.
Here's the steal from Jackson. Bam! Little chin up.
Andre Jackson. Dan Hurley said that's the real Andre that we saw on Wednesday against LIU. We were talking about these two coaches, though. They actually lived down the hall from each other in college.
Same dorm as you?
No, they lived at Xavier Hall. And Lavelle Sanders' wildest story about Dan Hurley was that he's in his bedroom one night trying to rest, and all of a sudden he's hearing these loud bangs from down the hall, like loud bangs. He said it felt like a bomb was going off inside of the hallway with just how loud it was.
I want to go back to Xavier Hall. Are all the dorms named after Big East teams?
He walks out of his room, Andy.
Although Xavier wasn't in the Big East then.
He walks out of his room, and Lavelle sees Dan Hurley with a golf club, a 7-iron. He's not putting, he's practicing his golf swing. He's chipping in the dorm hallway. Ball's hitting the ceiling. And Lavelle says,
where was the RA?
What the heck? Well, the RA was busy doing something. Wasn't monitoring the hall, that's for sure. McGriff hits it home.
Former St. John's guard.
He's got 6 and 5 assists. Back to the 2-3 zone for the Bearcats. Cole has been quiet today. Finishes and the foul.
Tommy Emmerker, of course, doing a great job up at Harvard.
Talked with Lavelle Sanders about his favorite story when he was in college. And he said that the day that he was committing to Seton Hall, he did it from his grandma's house in Brooklyn, living right on Prospect Avenue, right in the heart of Brooklyn. And he's getting ready to commit, and all of a sudden the neighborhood starts clamoring. People were waiting for this big announcement. And a big blue Cadillac drives right up to Lavelle's grandmother's house, and out of the car comes P.J. Carlissimo to be there for Lavelle's commitment. Comes out to the Bearcats.
Speaking of PJ, Michigan losing to Seton Hall in that rematch of that 89 title game, coached by PJ. Seton Hall back in 89.
John McGriff up to 8 points. He has shown why he was originally a recruit to the Big East. Inside, tough finish and the foul for Jordan Hawkins.
I was waiting for Jordan Hawkins here in the second half. The Huskies are so high on Jordan Hawkins. They don't think he's going to last 4 years. Goes right at Willis. Takes it in. And so what does that mean? Willis is out, and Akuovu is back in the game. That's why you heard those boos.
Hawkins can't cash in for the third. You talked about Big East newcomers to watch. You think Hawkins is on that list too?
Oh, he will be, yes. You asked me who's done so far, newcomers.
We did.
Yes. If we're looking forward, yes. I'll still say Darryl Morcell will be the best newcomer in this league. Full stop. I'm not saying he's the best pro. Who will be the most important newcomer to his team? It will be Darryl Morcell from Marquette. Period.
Oppenheimerson now with 7.
You're not disputing me at all.
Well, we got a game going on too. Jackson for 3. There's Andre Jackson. And a whistle right off the bucket and a quick timeout by Dan Hurley, who is...
Want to get up and down. Loyola Chicago is doing great so far under Drew Valentine, and Michigan State obviously righted itself by knocking off Butler in the Gavitt games. The other side of that bracket, which we'll get to momentarily, does have Syracuse and Baylor, the reigning champs. So the zone that you've seen from Binghamton, if UConn on that third day plays either one of those schools, they will see zone. Baylor mixes it up, but of course from Syracuse, they'll see zone. If it happens.
Some contact on the drive by Martin. Well, Syracuse UConn speaks for itself. And another possible matchup in the battle for Atlantis could be a Hurley Thanksgiving in the Bahamas. Arizona State is also in the field, and you have a couple of sons, grandsons to Bob Sr.
Yeah, Arizona State's going to have to get by Baylor. As I said, it's Syracuse VCU. It's not easy for the Sun Devils, which have been struggling lately. Lost that buzzer beater UC Riverside, but it could happen. You got mom and dad behind the bench there. I don't know. I have to admit, I don't know if they're going to the Bahamas. If not, they certainly they only have to watch one tournament.
Let's be quite clear that if that matchup happens, it would be the equivalent of Heat Miser, Cold Miser in that Christmas special, because the fact is they're brothers, they love each other, they do not want to meet.
Well, I'll be honest with you, if that matchup happens, it probably would be in the last place game, because I don't see Arizona State winning 2 games to get to a final on Sunday, not the way they're playing right now. So I will say that it won't happen, because I think UConn can at least win one of those first 2, whereas I'd be questioning if Arizona State, the way they're playing right now, would get to, I think there could be potentially 0-2 to get to that third day.
So no go charge for this second foul.
I like UConn against Auburn.
Wendell Green Jr., KD Johnson, and the Tigers getting past USF last night as that one falls.
Struggled.
They did.
Struggled to get by them in Tampa.
George Tinsley with just his second bucket of the game. Floating, that doesn't fall. Whaley was fouled though, and Isaiah Whaley will head back to the line.
It's been weird this afternoon. The angles on these offensive putbacks, they've really struggled. They've been kind of just off. It feels like they've been to the line more than 14 times.
It does. And the physicality present with...
Excuse me, 15.
A 41.
This is number 16.
41-31 edge on the glass. That really is their bread and butter, as we talked about earlier. 16 offensive rebounds. It has only led, though, to 13 second chance points. Make it 14 as Whaley now 4 for 4 today, and those are his only 4 free throws of the year.
You know, we showed you the Whalers banners. Sometimes it feels like the Wi-Fi in here comes from the 80s. It has not been great.
Jeez, as Amos is
when
fouled
there was no
by
Wi-Fi.
Amos is fouled by Martin.
See what I did there?
You are in rare form. You are ready, Andy Katz.
There was no Wi-Fi when the Whalers were here, and there's no Wi-Fi now.
Andy Katz, if you couldn't tell, is ready for his Thanksgiving table conversation. I would imagine you're the host with your family, right? You lead the debate. How's the Wi-Fi in your home?
It's strong.
Okay. It has to be. That Wi-Fi is running 24/7. 366 if there was a day.
Actually, before all that, off to Kansas City tonight for the College Basketball Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, where I'll have the honor on Sunday to interview Jim Jackson, entering the College Basketball Hall of Fame in Kansas City. So Fox's own Jimmy Jackson from the Ohio State University.
The All-American, as Gus Johnson always introduces him as that one goes for Tinsley. Only had one make in the entire first half. He's got 2 in the second and 5 straight.
And a name familiar to the UConn family, Tom Penders, getting in as a coach.
Now Hawkins, Jordan Hawkins from deep with his first 3.
He's just going to get better and better.
And now a deflection by Whaley. Alverson keeps it alive to Tinsley. Hawkins 5 points in his debut earlier this week. More minutes today, looking more comfortable. The Boo Birds for Akuovu, and a foul now on Whaley.
He doesn't mind being the villain here this afternoon. Obviously created it by that hard foul on Jackson. He's going to hear it.
Well, these fans.
Well, you know, after he pulled Jackson down, he did kind of shush the crowd. They weren't having it.
Where would you put this fan base in the country?
Well, this place is not packed. It's a good home court when you've got a full house. It is a great home court at Gamble Pavilion. Great. But look, they play a significant number of games here in Hartford. Gamble obviously in stores, but a half hour at times, depending on traffic, off of I-84, so a little more remote.
Big East opener here as Martin gives it to Sanogo. Hammer time for Adama Sanogo.
It was only a matter of time before he was getting in double figures.
Alverson fouled by Cole, but Big East opener will be here 4 weekends from now. So take another look.
Nice drive and dish from Martin. Getting set Sanogo with a little left-handed flush. Yeah, December 18th. Rivalry renewed against Providence. That should be a packed house here.
Now a giveaway. Martin goes behind the back to keep it alive. Hawkins can't finish, but a foul.
But UConn's going to love the aggressiveness from Jordan Hawkins. Just couldn't finish. Once again, the angles. They've been able to get to the rim, whether it's on drives or in putbacks, but just not been able to finish as effectively as we've seen in the first 3 games.
Foul on Sanogo, his 3rd, and Jordan Hawkins comes off. 12 minutes in this game, but 7 points and just picking up steadily. Only played 8 minutes in the opener earlier this week, 12 today. Dan Hurley said that'll just keep climbing. Akuovu is into double figures now with 10. Binghamton in the second half. Akuovu short. They've hustled. They just create an extra opportunity. They've only been outscored 38-32 in the second half, Andy. There's been some real fight that Lavelle Sanders described to us in the pregame.
And you saw that right there from George Tinsley. I mean, Lavelle said he plays hard all the time. Well, you just saw that. He just threw his body in there to try to get the rebound and ended up forcing it out of bounds.
Almerson. Doubled, now 8 on the shot clock, gets it down to Akuovu. Akuovu denied by Sanogo, and that one feels a little extra special to the UConn faithful. And Sanogo can't reel it in, a turnover. The 9th by UConn. Now a deflection to giveaway. Here's Martin, watch out.
That was created by Tyrese Martin's deflection. He got the ball back.
Dozen points off 11 Binghamton turnovers. Martin with 15 and 11. Bertram out to Falco. Falco gets it in at a friendly bounce, and Jacob Falco is 1 for 8 before that make.
What you see from Binghamton, John, is they take everything hard. When they're going to the rim, when they go in the America East, they're going to get fouled.
This team was picked at the bottom of the America East. They've only been in Division I for 21 years, only 2 winning seasons.
Well, if they're last place in the America East, I just think they're better than that.
Hakuovu
It's going to be decent.
with the left hand.
Which it already is.
Yeah.
Vermont, Stony Brook, UNH, UMass Lowell's had a good win.
But even Bill Harry, and the coach of New Hampshire, said to me earlier this week, hey, it runs through John Becker until proven otherwise.
Yes.
Vermont has been to the tournament 3 of the last 5 years. Martin down to Sanogo. Easy pickings for Adama Sanogo.
Jim Perry down at UMBC taking over for Ryan Odom. They'll be in the mix.
Pull up for Halverson. It's short, and Sanogo up to 5 boards.
The hockey line change, staying with our Whalers theme. 5 Huskies coming in.
They'll take on a ranked Auburn team on Wednesday. Should be a fascinating matchup down in the Bahamas. And the Huskies now bringing in those players from the bench. A hockey line change for Dan Hurley.
I think everyone's vaccinated. They'll get tested before they go down. They'll have to get tested when they come back.
Hawkins, Jordan Hawkins up to 9 points. And in just game 2 for the freshman, he has showed a lot this afternoon. Side, Willis with the left hand.
You know, it's just great that the tournament is back in Atlantis. Lee Miller does an outstanding job with the battle for Atlantis. Last year, obviously, they had to take the tournament to South Dakota. So it's great that the women's tournament's going on now, men's tournament later this week. I've been down there a few times. So well run in the ballroom. Just walked through the hotel to the arena.
Hawkins. Hawkins into double figures. Jordan Hawkins for the first time in his Huskies career.
He's going to be special here. Just a matter of time where he could end up being the leading scorer. He's got 11, so actually third right now.
And a foul on Samson Johnson, a fellow 4-star freshman. And that's the thing, with teams being so old this year in college basketball, it does mean that a freshman like Samson Johnson has to go through that process of sitting right now and learning, but they have huge beliefs in him.
Well, so do NBA scouts that have come through. They've really put him down as a player to watch. I mean, he's just playing right behind Sanogo or Cook. Obviously, you know, Whaley is going to play some in the post. So the minutes just aren't there yet. But if Samson Johnson just stays with it, he will be a first teamer and be even more of a contributor.
Let's think big picture here as we get to our final minute. What do you think determines UConn's success in March?
I really believe Hawkins elevating his game, being that other elite guard, joining Cole and Jackson.
Putback is there.
Their front line's going to be fine.
There's Samson Johnson. Hard to believe that he's an afterthought right now on the front line as Dan Hurley brings in his son, Andrew.
Well, his grandparents are here. Come on.
Absolutely.
How often do your grandparents get to watch you play college basketball like this, right?
There's Andrew. He'll see his cousin in Arizona State this week, and Uncle Bobby. This is actually special. This is Brett Hutchison at the line for Binghamton. He's from Orange, Connecticut. So in his home state here, getting that one. He is the lone Bearcat that hails from the state of Connecticut. Orange just outside of New Haven.
He's on the board.
Goes back to the Huskies.
Look at that, 49 seconds. Binghamton playing like it's March 12th. And they should. It's November 20th. You got to figure everything out this early in the season. By the way, shout out to New America East Commissioner Brad Walker. Outstanding hire by the conference. Replacing Amy Hookhausen, who was a trailblazer in her own right. Conference is in good hands with Brad Walker.
Brad Walker coming from the NBA G League, where he had an executive role, as Samson Johnson with a couple of late buckets here.
Walker had worked in college athletics at the WCC.
Speaking of that G League, James Bouknight had 27 last night. G League action, something Husky fans love to see. Final seconds here now in Hartford as Hutchinson gives it off. The UConn Huskies, all business this afternoon. They are 4-0 heading into the battle for Atlantis.
Look at that, Andrew Hurley wanted the charge. Hey, Dad, I took the charge. They just didn't call it because the buzzer sounded. Two good friends.